Welcome to another deep dive. Today we're going deep into Colleen Hoover's Verity.
Ooh, Verity.
It's a psychological thriller that has left readers really just questioning everything. And you're interested in sort of unpacking this complex story.
Right.
And we're here to help you kind of navigate the twists and turns.
Absolutely.
And we're not going to spoil the ending for you.
Right.
But get ready for some serious insights.
Yes.
So to help us with this deep dive, we have
Thank you.
an expert on psychological thrillers. And
Well, I don't know about expert, but
well, you've read a lot of them.
I have read a lot of them, yes.
And you have a lot of insight.
I hope so. One of the things that really struck me about Verity is the use of the unreliable narrator to build suspense.
Yeah.
We meet Lowen Ashleigh, and she is
Right away.
right from the get-go dealing with some anxieties.
Yeah.
And it makes you wonder, like, how much can we actually trust her perspective?
You know, right from the start, Hoover's dropping these little hints.
Yeah. Yes.
That Lowen might not be the most reliable source.
Right.
She's sleepwalking. She jumps to conclusions, especially about Jeremy.
Yeah.
It makes you second guess everything that she's seeing.
Oh, absolutely.
And hearing, it's like walking through a hall of mirrors, you know.
It is.
Trying to find the real story. What are your thoughts?
Well, for me as a reader, it's a brilliant technique, I think, because it throws us off balance immediately.
Yeah.
And it forces us to be very active in the story.
Yes.
We're constantly trying to piece together the truth, just like Lowen is.
Yeah.
So it's like Hoover is inviting us to kind of play detective along with the protagonist.
Yeah. I love that.
It's a lot of fun.
And then there's Verity herself.
Right.
Who is this successful author.
Yes.
Shrouded in mystery. She's physically and mentally incapacitated after this tragic accident. But we never really get a clear picture of what her true state is.
Exactly.
It makes you wonder, is she truly a victim?
Right.
Or is there something more sinister going on?
Well, and that ambiguity around Verity is, I think, one of the most powerful elements of the novel.
Yeah.
Because we're only seeing her through Lowen's eyes.
Right.
Which are already, kind of clouded with all this doubt and suspicion.
Yes.
So it's like we're trying to solve a puzzle, but we don't have all the pieces.
Right. And it's like Hoover's playing with our expectations of what a thriller should be,
Exactly.
We're used to having a clear sense of who the victim is, who the villain is.
Right.
But in Verity, those lines are constantly being blurred.
Exactly. And that blurring of lines becomes even more intense when Lowen finds Verity's hidden manuscript.
Oh, yes.
This kind of autobiography filled with shocking revelations.
Yeah, it's like she dropped a bomb.
It is.
Right in the middle of the story.
Yes.
And suddenly we're confronted with this totally different version of Verity.
Yeah.
She's no longer just a tragic figure. She's a woman wrestling with these dark thoughts and potentially dangerous impulses. And it made me question everything I thought I knew about her, about motherhood, about the secrets that we keep hidden.
Right.
What were your thoughts on that?
Well, I think what's so fascinating about that manuscript is how it plays with the concept of truth. Because, is this the real Verity?
Right.
Or is it just a fictionalized account? A way for her to kind of explore these impulses without consequence.
Right.
It makes you think about the nature of authorship and the line between reality and imagination.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
And speaking of blurred lines,
Yes.
let's talk about the relationship between Lowen and Jeremy.
Okay.
Because right away, their initial encounter is charged with this strange intimacy.
Yeah.
He quite literally gives her the shirt off his back.
He does.
After she witnesses this horrific accident.
Yeah, and I think that moment is so crucial because it establishes this connection between them as kind of vulnerability and shared experience.
Right.
And then as Lowen moves into their home to work on Verity's books, this connection just deepens and deepens.
It does.
And the lines between professional and personal really start to blur.
Yeah, it becomes almost impossible to separate their working relationship from this growing attraction between them.
Yes.
And then there's that scene where Jeremy lies about Verity reading Lowen's book.
Oh, yeah.
He's clearly trying to validate her.
He is, yeah.
As a writer.
Yeah.
But it also raises all these questions about his motives.
It does.
Is he genuinely trying to help her, or is he manipulating her for his own benefit?
Well, it's a classic power dynamic, right?
It is.
I mean, Jeremy's in a position of authority both as Verity's husband and as someone who can potentially help Lowen's career.
Yeah.
And Lowen is vulnerable, drawn to his strength and stability.
Right.
So it makes their relationship incredibly complex
Yes.
and fraught with these ethical dilemmas.
Yeah, their actions definitely raise some uncomfortable questions.
They do.
Are they crossing professional boundaries?
Right.
Are they betraying Verity, even though she may not even be aware of what's happening?
Right.
It's another layer of this moral ambiguity
It is.
that Hoover just weaves into the story.
Absolutely. And this ties into, I think, one of the novel's central themes, which is this tension between motherhood and morality.
Yeah.
You know, Verity's manuscript portrays this chilling contrast between her public persona
Right.
and then her private thoughts about her children, particularly the twins.
Right.
And it really forces us to confront this darker side of motherhood. You know, it
Yes.
challenges those kind of idealized notions of maternal love.
It's unsettling to see the least.
Yeah.
You know, the manuscript hints at resentment,
Right.
even potential abuse, and it makes you wonder, how well do we ever truly know another person?
That's true.
Especially when it comes to these deeply personal experiences like motherhood.
Yeah, it challenges us to look beyond the surface, to acknowledge that even those who seem to have it all together
Yeah.
might be battling these internal demons.
Right.
Makes you question your own assumptions about the people in your life, even those closest to you.
It's a reminder that everybody has secrets.
Yes, they do.
Some darker than others.
Yes.
And sometimes those secrets can have devastating consequences.
They can.
So before we go any further down this rabbit hole,
Okay.
we want to take a quick moment to connect with you, our incredible listeners.
Yes.
If you are finding this deep dive into Verity as captivating as we are, please consider subscribing to our channel, following us on social media, and supporting us on Patreon.
Absolutely.
You can find all the links in the description.
Yes, you can.
And don't forget to leave a comment about what stands out to you about Verity so far.
Oh, yes. We love hearing your perspectives.
So now let's dive back into the twisted world of Verity
Okay.
and explore another layer of this complex story, the constant battle between truth and deception.
Let's do it. You know, it's not just the characters that create this feeling of unease.
Right.
The setting itself plays a crucial role.
Oh.
In amplifying the suspense, you know, Verity's house, this grand, almost gothic structure
Oh, yes.
is as much a character as any of the people
Right.
who inhabit it.
You're so right about the house. It's described as this imposing presence with dark stone overgrown ivy.
Yes.
It's almost like a physical manifestation of the secrets and darkness that lurk within its walls.
Right.
I remember getting chills reading those descriptive passages.
Yeah.
It's creepy.
And think about Lowen's own living situation.
Right.
You know, cramped apartment in the city.
Yeah.
Such a stark contrast to the oppressive atmosphere of Verity's home.
Yeah.
It's almost as if she's stepping into a different world.
Right.
One where the rules of reality are kind of suspended.
And then there's the detail about Verity's office,
Right.
which Lowen discovers has this massive window overlooking Verity's bedroom.
Yes.
It's like Hoover is deliberately placing Lowen in this voyeuristic position,
Yeah.
forcing her to observe Verity without her consent.
That's a great observation. I think voyeurism in this context adds another layer of discomfort to the story because it speaks to the power dynamics.
Right.
You know, with Lowen constantly watching,
Right.
trying to decipher Verity's true nature.
Right.
But it also makes you question Lowen's own motives.
Yeah.
Is she simply trying to understand Verity,
Right.
or is there something more unsettling at play?
I found myself wondering the same thing, especially in those moments when Verity seems to show these signs of awareness.
Right.
Like when she makes eye contact with Lowen
Yeah.
or seems to recognize her son, Crew.
Yes.
You know, it makes you question the extent of her injuries and whether she's faking her catatonic state.
Yeah.
It plays right into that fear of being watched, you know, of
Right.
someone knowing your every move.
It's like Hoover is tapping into our primal fears, you know, the fear of the unknown,
Right.
the fear of being manipulated,
Yeah.
the fear of losing control.
Right.
And that fear is just magnified by the ambiguity surrounding Verity's condition. You know, we're constantly questioning, is she a victim?
Right.
Or is she a manipulator? Is she truly helpless?
Right.
Or is she orchestrating everything from the shadows?
And in the midst of all this uncertainty,
Yeah.
we have Jeremy's twin daughters, Harper and Chasten.
Right.
And they represent this innocence.
Yes.
This pure love that contrasts so sharply with the darkness surrounding Verity.
Yes.
But even their presence is tinged with this sense of foreboding, especially given Verity's disturbing thoughts about motherhood.
You picked up on something really crucial there because I think the twins embody the complexities of family dynamics.
Yes.
You know, on the surface, we see Jeremy's deep love for his daughters,
Okay.
but then we have Verity's manuscript
Right.
hinting at this much darker maternal instinct.
Right.
It forces us to confront the idea that even within a family unit,
Yeah.
there can be these conflicting emotions, hidden resentments,
Right.
unspoken truths.
And then, of course, we have the tragic death of Harper, which is such a turning point in the story.
Yeah.
It casts this long shadow over everything that follows.
Right.
Jeremy's devastated,
Of course.
understandably so.
Yeah.
But there's this lingering suspicion that he directs towards Verity.
Right. And that suspicion adds another layer
It does.
to the already intricate web of relationships.
Right.
You know, it makes you wonder, is Jeremy's grief clouding his judgment, or is there a genuine reason to believe that Verity might have played a role
Yeah.
in Harper's death?
The novel never explicitly confirms his suspicions,
Right.
but it's always there lurking beneath the surface.
It is.
And as Lowen becomes more and more entangled in their lives,
Mhm.
her own mental state starts to deteriorate.
Yeah. This is where Hoover really masterfully blurs the lines
Yeah.
between reality and delusion.
It's scary.
Lowen starts experiencing these episodes of sleepwalking, vivid nightmares, intense anxiety.
Yeah.
Is she genuinely losing her grip on reality,
Right.
or is the house itself,
Right.
with its oppressive atmosphere and secrets?
Yeah. Driving her to the brink.
It's a classic element of psychological thrillers, you know,
It is.
making us question the protagonist's sanity.
Right.
We're left wondering if Lowen is a reliable witness
Right.
to the events unfolding around her, or if she's being manipulated by forces beyond her control.
Exactly. And this uncertainty is heightened by the introduction of Verity's letter,
Oh, yes.
which seems to contradict everything we've read in her manuscript.
Yeah.
It makes you question the authenticity of the manuscript
Right.
and casts doubt on Verity's character.
That letter was a real head spinner.
It was.
Just when you think you're starting to understand Verity,
Right.
Hoover throws in this curveball
Yes,
that completely upends your perceptions.
it does.
Makes you go back and reevaluate everything you thought you knew.
It really does. I mean, the letter is a masterstroke of manipulation.
Yeah.
Whether it's a genuine attempt at redemption
Right.
or a carefully calculated move by Verity to kind of control the narrative,
Right.
it adds a layer of complexity to the story. It does.
That forces us to question not only Verity's motives, but also our own interpretations
Yeah.
of the events.
And then, of course, there's that final shocking revelation
Oh, yes.
where Verity reveals that she's been conscious all along, manipulating everyone around her.
It's chilling.
It sends chills down your spine.
Yeah.
It makes you question everything that came before.
It's a brilliant twist.
It is.
It leaves us reeling, trying to make sense of the chaos
Right.
and the deception. It challenges us to confront the idea that even those we perceive as vulnerable
Right.
can be capable of incredible manipulation.
It makes you wonder, who is the real victim in this story?
Right.
Is it Verity, who might have been driven to these extremes by her own trauma?
Right.
Or is it Lowen, who was drawn into this web of deceit
Right.
and manipulated by someone she thought she could trust?
That ambiguity is what makes the ending so powerful.
Yeah.
It doesn't offer easy answers or neat resolutions.
Well,
Instead, it forces us to grapple with the uncomfortable realities of human nature, the complexities of truth,
yes.
and the lasting impact of trauma.
Verity is a story that burrows under your skin
It does.
and stays with you long after you finish the last page.
It lingers?
It's testament to Colleen Hoover's ability to craft a truly unsettling
Yes.
and thought-provoking thriller.
It is a story that invites us to confront our own biases
Yes.
and question our assumptions about the people in our lives.
Right.
It's a reminder that we never truly know what lies beneath the surface.
So before we wrap up our deep dive,
Okay.
we want to remind you to subscribe to our channel, follow us on social media, and support us on Patreon.
Yes.
All the links are in the description.
They are?
And don't forget to leave a comment sharing your thoughts and reactions to Verity.
Yes.
We are eager to hear your perspectives.
We are.
So now let's move on to our final thoughts on Verity
Okay.
and explore the lasting impact of this unsettling tale.
Oh.
You know, beyond the twists and turns of the plot, what really struck me about Verity was Hoover's writing style. You know, she has this incredible ability to draw you into the story,
Right.
to make you feel like you're right there in the thick of it.
Absolutely.
It's not just what she says,
Yeah.
but how she says it.
Right.
What are your thoughts on her writing style?
I totally agree. I think Hoover's prose is so engaging.
Yeah.
It's sharp. It's fast-paced.
Yes.
It just draws you right into the heart of the story.
Yeah.
even in seemingly mundane moments, she creates the sense of tension
Yes.
and anticipation, you know,
Right.
just holding your breath, waiting for the next shoe to drop.
It's like she has this sixth sense for suspense.
She does.
You know she knows exactly how to build the tension layer by layer.
Yes.
Until you're practically on the edge of your seat.
Yeah.
And I notice how she uses these really vivid images and sensory details
Oh, yeah.
to really immerse you in the story.
Absolutely.
You can almost feel the claustrophobia of that house.
Right.
The unease that permeates every room.
Yes.
It's like she's painting a picture with words, creating this atmosphere that you can practically taste and smell.
You're spot on. Her use of sensory details is just masterful.
Yeah.
And it's not just about describing the physical space. It's about evoking an emotional response.
Right.
In the reader, you feel Lowen's anxiety, her fear, her growing sense of unease as she navigates this increasingly unsettling environment.
And she doesn't shy away from exploring the darker aspects of human nature.
No, she doesn't.
You know, the novel delves into themes of obsession manipulation,
Right.
the lengths that people will go to protect their secrets.
Right.
And it's not always a comfortable read,
It's not.
but it's a captivating one.
It is.
It forces you to confront those uncomfortable truths about ourselves and the people we love.
Exactly. Hoover's willingness to explore those complexities of human behavior
Yes.
is what makes her writing so compelling.
Yeah.
You know, she doesn't offer easy answers or neat resolutions.
Right.
She presents us with these flawed characters, morally ambiguous situations, and leaves us to grapple with the implications.
And that brings us to the ending,
Yes.
which I found to be both shocking and incredibly thought-provoking.
Yeah.
While it definitely provides some answers, it also leaves a lot of room for interpretation.
It does.
We're left wondering if Verity was truly the mastermind behind everything,
Right.
or if she was, in some ways, a victim of her own circumstances.
Right.
It's not a clear-cut good versus evil situation.
No, it's not.
What'd you make of the ending?
Well, I think the ambiguity of the ending is what makes it so brilliant.
Yeah.
It doesn't tie everything up in a neat little bow.
Right.
Instead, it invites us to continue the conversation.
Yes.
To question our own assumptions,
Right.
to consider multiple perspectives, you know?
Yeah.
Was Verity a cold, calculating manipulator?
Right.
Or was she a woman driven to extremes by the trauma she endured?
Right.
Is Jeremy a grieving husband seeking justice?
Right.
Or is he complicit in the darkness that surrounds Verity?
It's like Hoover is giving us the pieces of the puzzle,
Yes, she is.
but leaving it up to us to decide how they fit together.
Exactly.
And then there's Lowen
Right.
left to grapple with the fallout of everything that happened in that house.
Yes.
The novel ends with her seemingly moving on with her life.
Right.
But you can't help but wonder if she'll ever truly escape the shadow of Verity.
Right. Will she always be haunted by those memories, by the questions that remain unanswered?
That's the beauty of a well-crafted psychological thriller.
It is.
It stays with you long after you finish the book.
It does.
You find yourself replaying the events,
Yes.
questioning the characters' motives,
Right.
and wondering what might have happened if things had gone differently.
Exactly. It's an invitation to engage with the story on a deeper level,
Yeah.
to explore the themes that resonate with you, and to draw your own conclusions.
Verity is a book that challenges your perceptions, makes you question your assumptions,
Absolutely.
and leaves you with a lingering sense of both fascination and unease.
Yeah.
It's a testament to Colleen Hoover's talent as a storyteller, her ability to craft a truly gripping and thought-provoking thriller.
I agree.
Well, we hope you enjoyed this deep dive
Yes.
into the unsettling world of Verity.
It's been a fascinating journey,
It has been a fascinating journey.
exploring the complexities of this story with you.
And as always, we would love to hear your thoughts.
Yes.
What stood out to you about Verity?
Right.
What are your theories about the characters and their motivations?
Yeah.
Share your insights and questions in the comments below.
We'd love to hear them.
And if you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, follow us on social media,
Yes.
and consider supporting us on Patreon.
Absolutely.
You can find all the links in the description.
Yes, you can.
Your support helps us keep bringing you these in-depth analyses
Engaging discussions.
and engaging discussions. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning,
Yes.
and keep diving deep.
Bye, everyone.